Well, Fred, here we are. This is Lifetree Community Goes Wild number 7.
Ooh, yeah, you got your wild necklace on, lady.
And this is
I'm excited.
day 13 of our lockdown. So I have
Yes.
some questions I want to ask you, and let's see how that kind of unpacks today.
Cheryl will be the one who conducts the interview. I like that.
So my first question is, do we have routines here in this home?
We do have routines. We follow a good number of them on any given day, in a given week. And one of them is actually just stepping out into the shopping environs and establishments around where we live. And
As needed, right?
now that they are restricted, you're only allowed out if you're going out for food, medical, or emergencies. Yep.
But 3.5 years ago, that was not the case, and it was a Saturday afternoon. And where did we end up?
Ended up in a small boutique mall, actually to draw cash. We thought it was a fairly inconsequential and routine event. But by the end of the day on social media, I'd received a message from a lady called Megan, who said, "Fred, did I see you in the mall today?"
And how many years had it been since she had
Oh,
last
you would
seen
ask. And at my advanced age, that's not easy. But I think 36 plus years. She had been a teenager. I was a youth sponsor in a youth group in my home city of Durban.
So as a result of meeting Megan that day, we've become good friends. And maybe 6 or 8 months later, she and I and another good friend were having lunch at that very same mall.
Yeah.
Who did we meet that day, Fred?
Well, it's interesting. You were served by an amazing human whose name was Clifford. Here we call them waitrons. And he was a waiter, and he served with great hospitality and warmth. And as I stepped up to the table to join the ladies in the last bits of conversation before we all went our separate ways, Clifford said, "Guys, I really need a verse."
Now, wait a minute. This was not the first time we'd met Clifford, correct? We had met Clifford several times before when we'd stopped at that very same coffee shop for cups of coffee. So we had already developed a friendship with him, and then he asked for a verse. And what did you do next?
Yeah, a good reminder. In fact, he'd asked us once he knew we were doing a non-traditional church, "Where does our church meet?" And we smiled and said, "Right here at this table with you, Clifford." So he asked for a verse. I said, "Well, give me your number and I will WhatsApp you a verse each day." So I did, and at the end of that first day when I WhatsApped him a scripture verse, he said, "Can I call you Dad?" He said, "I don't have a father. I was raised by a single mom, and I would really like it if I could have you as my dad." I said, "Sure." Subsequently, he's called both of us Dad and Mom, hasn't he, Cheryl?
Well, yes. And so as a result, we have an adopted son here in our neck of the woods. But what has been so amazing is to watch him actually grow, and he blesses us many times when he shares with us what the verse has meant to him at different times.
In fact, we discovered that he was saving the verses into a folder, and he would share the daily verse with a colleague friend of his, and the two of them would be encouraged together. So it was humbling.
So,
Yeah.
what have we learned, Fred, about routines? What happens with our routines?
I think to step into life each day and to step into spaces that we may just happen to be in with curiosity, actually with eyes open and listening to the voice of the Spirit. We would like to say we were smart enough to pick up on that relationship, way back then, but actually it wasn't. It was a bit of a God wink, as we like to call them.
So today, as we close out this Lifetree Goes Wild number 7,
Yes.
we encourage you to realize that God is at work even in your routines. And be curious. You never know who you'll meet, who will notice you, and what will happen as a result of that. So, God bless you, and
We wish you continued personal safety as you stay home, but stay connected.